Yo, what's happening with what's happening?
Welcome to What's Happening and Happy New Year. I'm Brad.
I'm Fred. Happy New Year.
It's a show we talk about what's happening. What's happening with you, bro?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Just, trying to make sure I stay in good health. You know what I mean? With this new wave of COVID that's around. It's trying to attack everybody. But I'm good, man. Good family time. How about you, man?
Yeah, man. All good over here, man. Same thing. We trying to stay safe from Omarion over here, man. Hoping everybody that's listening.
Bro, it's Omicron. Why do you keep calling him Omarion?
Because everybody keep calling it Omarion, bro.
Next, you're going to put the song O to it, huh?
They actually, I saw a video today that said it's spreading faster than the Touch music video from Omarion. Oh, man. But yeah, man, hoping everybody that's listening to this is feeling well. All your loved ones, hoping everybody had a good holiday, had a good Christmas, good New Year, good Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hope you enjoyed it with your family. And it's a new year, and it's a new year, it's still the same old awesome, amazing show here and What's Happening. Where I like to call this a freestyle variety show. I think that's the category that we're going to be, because sometimes we have silly debates on food and games, and sometimes we talk about growing up poor and black and not realizing that we were putting ourselves into patterns, or not that we're putting ourselves, but that we were born into what's the term I want to use? Your residual poverty. That generational curse that often plagues many of us. Sometimes we talk about that kind of stuff, but the point that I'm making is that every time you turn on What's Happening, you get something a little different. And today you're gonna get something a little different. It's a little bit of a different format. We have a guest here today. You probably heard him laughing earlier when we were talking about Omarion's variant. But we got my man Dominique Stamper. How you feeling, bro? What's happening with you?
Man, what's happening, man? I'm cool, man. Take another day, man. A new year, though. New start.
Yeah. So, this show, it's a little different, and I told you guys a couple weeks ago at the end of the Jussie Smollett podcast, I told you that we had something different coming for you at the top of the year, and this is an opportunity that we've given Dominique here to share his story and what he's done. Now, I've said this to Dominique talking one-on-one, but I'm going to put it right here on wax as well. This is a judgment-free zone. This is a safe place. You're not going to get judged. This is your opportunity to tell your story in your words, however much or however little you want to tell. And whatever. And Fred and I are reacted to what you said. So I know why I asked you here, but I don't know the details of what got you here to ask me that. And that's for you to reveal as much or as little as you want to do. And we'll ask you questions to follow up from there. And it's an opportunity for people to be educated. Sound good?
Sounds great, brother. Sounds great.
All right. So at this point, man, I'm gonna give you the floor, and you can tell your story.
Okay. Well, like you said, man, I'm Dominique Stamper, man. I just got released about actually a month ago from prison. I was incarcerated. So 30 days ago, I was sitting in a cell, waking up to, on a top bunk at that, with another man underneath me, man. It sounds weird and funny, but that's the truth or the reality of it, man. Taking showers with shower shoes. So, I'm just blessed to be free and here now, man. So that's the sum of my story, but definitely not the beginning of it, man.
Yeah.
So
you could take us back as early as you want to take us.
Yeah, man. Well, I guess I could start, with the night of the incident. I was with my guy we was drinking, we was sipping, and we just at the house, we talking, you know, having a good time. It's a Friday night, you know, living life. That's what I thought life was at the time. So I ended up, I think we drunk like a fifth and a half. No, actually it was a liter and a half of 1738. And I was working third shift at the time. So that was my Friday. So I didn't go to sleep that night. So I woke from 12 the previous day. I was up till 12 the next day. So I was basically up 24 hours, no sleep, no food, just liquor and weed in me. And actually, I didn't even smoke that day. So I was just drunk. So I didn't have nothing to balance me out, nothing to mellow me out. So, but all I remember is I'm leaving his house, about to go home. And I hopped on the phone to call my brother. And I don't know why I called him. But the next thing I remember, I woke up and I hit a car. And when I hit the car, I was perfectly fine. It's like, I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie. I think it was Knocked Up, when they was like, he got into a car accident, the car flipped. It was with Robert Downey Jr. and the dude from Hangover, the little goofy fat kid with the curly hair.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name at the moment.
Yeah, so basically what happened was in that movie is that got into a car accident. He woke up, the dude driving was asleep. But the other passenger, he woke up in the midst of it and he got all these broken bones. But the driver was so asleep, he was basically numb. He didn't tense up. So he was fine. So basically that's what happened to me. So I fell asleep behind the wheel, being fatigued and under the influence. And so when I woke up, I'm like, whoa, like what happened? I'm trying to figure out where I'm at, who I hit. So I got out the car. Mind you, I'm perfectly fine. So I hit a car. They say I was going by about 65 around the corner. I lost track. My car was in the driveway. So when I hit the car, I hit it so hard, it hit the tree. And honestly, man, I thank the Most High, because if that car wasn't there, I'm hitting that tree, and that tree ain't budging. You know, I probably wouldn't be here to talk to y'all guys. So, you know, even in that messed up midst of a situation, I was still blessed. You know, I woke up with no broken bones, no bloodiness, no nothing. I woke up perfectly fine, no stiffness or anything. But the thing was, I had drugs, gun, and a scale in the car. So in the midst of all this, I'm waking up delusional, trying to figure out what to do. I'm looking at everything I got in the car because it's in one bag, and it's like, do I take it and throw it? Do I run? The police station is only 2 minutes down the street, so I know they're coming. So I went into a little panic frenzy. Mind you, I'm still under the influence, but it did kind of sober me up. But so I just froze. I didn't know what to do. So when the cops got there, you know, I guess something told me to run, but at that time it's too late. So it's kind of a blackout situation from that. So I woke up in the hospital because they asked me, did I want care? I said, yeah, I might as well get looked at. Nothing broken, nothing sprained. So after that, you know, they had to book me. And by the grace of the Most High, I got bonded out that same day. So I didn't really spend no jail time until actually I had to get sent. So, you know, it being my first offense, I think, you know, I was thinking, all right, man, they gonna take it easy on me, or I'm gonna get probation. It's not like, you know, they actually caught me selling drugs, or I was shooting at somebody. The gun was legal. I'm thinking in my head, like, you know, I'm a coach. I'm a good man in the community. You know, I take care of my kids. You know, I have a job at the time. So I'm thinking in my head, like, man, you know, I'll get off of probation. not knowing the severeness of my case, and the severeness of the person that was actually in the car that I hit. So, you know, that kind of took me.
How did the person in the car come out?
Oh man, they had a life flight him, so they had to cut him out. And the crazy thing about it, it was my sister's husband's best friend. So it was kind of like a family friend. I knew him since I was a kid. And it's just crazy because, you know, it was I remember the first time I actually seen my sister's husband's family, and you know, it was at a birthday party. And you know, even though the situation has passed and he done healed up and you know he's back to normal, even at that time, it was still kind of awkward and some tension in the air. Like you could feel it. And cause that's his best friend, you know, childhood friend.
Right.
So, you know, they look at him more as family than anything, especially me. So it was kind of awkward and weird, but you play cordial, you know, you do the family thing, you do what you're supposed to do. But and I think that's when it kind of really dawned on me, like the severity of what place I caused him, because he could have died. But like I said, the Most High was looking after both of us. You know, I don't know what reason it had to be him, but you know, I'm grateful it was, because I felt like if it was anybody else, they probably would have pursued it more.
Yeah, they was gonna try to max you out.
Man, max me out. And with him, they were just, you know, more concerned about his medical bills and getting the car replaced. And since I had insurance, all that was covered.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, it all happened like the way it was supposed to happen. But, you know, I was living so fast at the time, you know. I got 7 kids. So, you know, just working a regular job at that time in my mind was like not enough. So I always felt like I had to, you know, do a little extra, you know, hustling on the side just to make ends meet, you know, because kids are expensive alone, you know, not including the, you know, extra activities that we do. And, you know, I'm always the guy that's lending a helping hand to somebody that probably wouldn't, you know, give me some water out they sink if they had it. But, you know, that's the type of heart I got. So, you know, rather me helping, you know, one of the kids I coach, or, you know, a friend of mine that needs some extra help, you know, I always felt like I had to be that guy to, you know, save somebody. And I don't know if that's a result of me not having a father, feeling like when I needed somebody and they wasn't there. But I don't know, just who I am.
Yeah, so, I think it's just who you are. It's your character, you know.
Right.
It's not always just because of what we didn't have. It's just sometimes of what we always seen. You know, you probably always seen somebody that stood up or helped out, and that, you know, was admirable to you. So you took on that role because you felt, you know, comfortable with it. Like it was placed on you to do. You know, that's just how I see it, you know, in a sense, because I can relate to that. I'm always, you know, whether I have or don't have, you know, if I can help somebody, I'm going to help in any way that need to happen. So I think that's who you is, you know, it's what's in you. You're just not one of those people that can see somebody struggle knowing that you okay, and it's not going to hurt you to, you know, help out in that situation. You're not going to watch them struggle, which is, you know, that's admirable. So, but yeah, so, you know, it was a family friend that got hurt, you know, and is doing better, thank God, you know, that everybody was able to come out that situation. So now you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, this is more serious than what I thought it was.
Right.
So at this point, what are your thoughts now? How are you going about this case? Because, you know, you said you're still out here. So you're pretty much you're going back and forth to trial, you know, seeing what they say, what your options going to be, you know, going through that whole thing. So what was your mind thought in that setting? How was you attacking your day-to-day and dealing with that on the backside.
You know, I think even when, you know, I realized it was still more severe than when I expected. I think I was so naive to it at the same time, thinking like, man, you know, this is bigger than what it is, but I'm gonna be all right. You know, they still just gonna give me probation. You know, I'm trying to speak it into
Get the
it.
slap on the wrist of the first timer, you know.
Right.
And you never seen my face, Judge.
Yeah, like I promise you won't see it again. But come on now, come on. You know, so and I'm just really, you know, living my day to day the same, man. You know, not really changing too much. But still in the back of my mind, I'm worried, I'm scared, you know, because that's one thing I always wanted a vow, like never to leave my kids. Like, you know, no matter how hard the situation is with their mother or with my life or anything in that matter, I'm felt like I can never leave my children, because they mean too much to me. I know how much I mean to them, and I know what it feels like not to have one. So, you know, and I know how important it is to have one at the same time. So I'm thinking like, man, I can't leave my kids. They're going to see I got 7 kids. I'm a coach. I got a program. I help the youth. Like, this was an honest mistake. It's not like I chose to crash this car into this man that I know and life flight him. It's, you know, yeah, I had the drugs and the gun, but, you know, hopefully they can understand this COVID right now. Times are hard, you know. But yeah, they were.
But it was the more of the alcohol in the system than it was, I think, the rest of it. Wouldn't it be? It was the choice of drinking and getting behind the wheel. I think it's more what probably be looked at in this situation. You know, yeah, all that other stuff on you is bad, but it possibly could have been sorted out or overlooked if you didn't have the alcohol in the system and, you know, the situation at hand with the accident and, you know, the family friend being life flighted, which I'm pretty sure that played a lot into the scenario, whether you looked at that aspect or not.
Yeah.
That had to be like, I mean, I'm not sure if they waited to make sure he was gonna make it or not before they even finished with the trial. Did they do that?
Well, yeah, but see, I actually didn't go to trial. We just kept going back and forth. Because I hired a lawyer and everything. It was one of the top lawyers in the city, and they was like, he said, you can take it to trial, but what are you really fighting for? Because you're guilty of all charges. It's,
right.
You had the gun, you had the drugs, you hit the man. What can I fight? And you know, I looked at it like he's right. Like, let's try to get the best deal. And like I said, you know, I thank the Most High that it was, you know, a family friend that didn't, you know, care too much about. Yeah, because, you know,
he could have pressed charges for,
because it went from like a vehicle assault to like it was something higher than that. I can't remember my charge because of the severeness of his injuries.
Was it
it was a vehicular assault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vehicular manslaughter, maybe?
No, he didn't die, brother.
He didn't die.
I meant like
it'd be a vehicular assault. It's still a felony, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Basically like it probably went from like an involuntary assault to a vehicular assault or something like that, where it went from like a misdemeanor to a felony of one of the higher degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
got it.
And if it was somebody else, like you said, and they pressed charges and pursued it, now that, you know, F1 sticks and you really gonna have to go through the woes of, you know, I mean, you're guilty with everything, like you said, and people saying, well, I want max of this, max that, we want this. That could have been, you know, uglier than itself. It's almost, in a sense, like the man in Colorado that had got the 110 before they reduced his, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It really, in a sense, could be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because without the alcohol and without the injuries, let's just say he slid on ice or something and hit him. You know,
I see
that's
what you're
private.
saying.
That's private property. He could actually just fight that back and forth with the person.
Yeah.
But because of the different things that came into play, it changed the case. But yeah, you were blessed on that situation there for sure.
Yeah.
So then if you really didn't go to trial and you're just going back and forth, you know, making sure his medical bills was paid and the car and all that was going to be replaced, that the insurance was going to take care of what they were supposed to, then how did you get sentenced? You know, did the state pick it up or did?
Well, what happened was, you know, since I had the gun, that's technically a mandatory 3. So
Hold on, you said the gun was legal, right?
It was legal, but since I had drugs in the
Drugs,
car,
okay.
yeah, that kind of throws it out. Yeah,
yeah, all that's out the window.
Right. So they dropped my gun spec, and since the vehicular assault was a felony of a higher caliber anyway, it's mandatory jail time. So they said since I'm already going to jail off of that, we can just drop the gun charge and just have like a fire in the misproperly using of a firearm in a motor vehicle, since it was legal and stuff, in drug trafficking. So but my plea was, I took a plea. It was from 1 year or 5 years, but it's basically a blind plea. So I won't know what I have until the day I'm actually sentenced. So I found this out about October. So
this is October 2020, right?
Yeah, October 2020.
Just to give people, the listeners, a timeline.
Yeah. So this is about October 2020. This happened in April 2020. So it's been about that's about 6 months, about 5-6 months, where I'm just, figuring out, what to do, how I'm acting. So when I finally got the news out, like there's no way around it. I even offered the lawyer, like, is it more money? Like tell me a price. I'll get it. Trust me. Just let me know.
It wasn't about the money. It was nothing he could fight. That's what he said.
He said it was. Yeah, it was over with at that time. So
yeah, I mean, I think you're just, I think it's just at that point you're just like, I think it sounds like the realization that prison was imminent, and you're just like, is there literally, like, what is possible? Like, not what do you think is possible, like what's actually possible to get me out of jail.
Right.
And then the lawyer's telling you
tag on it.
and the lawyer's telling you, like, nah, bro.
You will sit
I don't know what
down.
movie you watched, but
oh man.
And at this point, I mean, you gotta even look at yourself like, damn, well, I done already paid all this money. You know what I'm saying? And now there wasn't no point in it, because like I'm still gonna get the same just due, even if I, didn't pay him any money and just went with a public defender. You know what I'm saying? Like it was gonna be the same. And I never will recommend a public defender, but in that case, when you don't have nothing, you might as well save your bread, for the long haul.
Yeah, right.
So tell us about, kind of your continued walk up into the sentencing.
Well, the first person I called, after I got that news, I had to call my mom. She was she always been in my corner since day one. Always had my back, right or wrong, So, when I told her that, in her eyes, her baby can do no wrong. So, she's like, so there's nothing they can do. It was an accident. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, but, it is what it is. And kind of right now at this state, after I heard, I'm like, man, I said, like, I'm going to jail. Like, ain't no ifs and about it. Like, I think the longest I've been in jail prior to that, and that was county jail, was 3 days. And that felt like 3 months. So, but I kind of, after I got that news, I had to tell myself, like, all right, man, this is real. Like, this is going to be her life. You know, like we're gonna take this on the chin. You're gonna learn your lessons from it, and we're gonna go from there. So after that, you know, I just try to spend as much time with my kids. You know, try to do things. I traveled a little bit, been a couple places I haven't been. Still coach though, man. I still coach, and I think that's what kind of got me through it. You know, that's like my peaceful place. Like even though it's stressful, that's the place I find peace at. Because I feel like I'm actually, you know, making a change, not only in myself, but into these children that I'm coaching, man. And, you know.
And I just want to interrupt you real quick, just for the listeners. Before this Zoom call, Fred and Dominique have never met. So Fred is getting a real sense of relatability because Fred also is a coach as well.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that till now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, I was just listening to you. I was gonna let you know, but yeah, I can't relate a lot to a lot of it because you know, that I don't know, something about just being in that atmosphere, giving back, you know what I'm saying, knowing that you helping the future grow, you know what I'm saying, and more than just in a sport, but just to be a young man or a young woman to have, you know, good teamwork skills, you know, ethics and skills that you just get out of sports that you don't get, you know, just on a day-to-day doing your classwork or, you know, whatever it is you do.
Right. Absolutely.
Coaching, you give these life valuable skills to these people. It's, you know what I'm saying, it's life-changing, really. I can't explain the feeling, but and just being inside the gym is just, I could just sit in that mug and just hear a ball bounce.
It's crazy that you said that. I'm gonna kind of fast forward real quick, but I'm gonna get back. So mind you, I'm locked up. It's the middle of COVID. Man, I got locked up January 7th. So you know, I had
2021.
2021. So I had to do about 20 days in county, which is 22 and 2. So we locked up 22 hours of the day. I only got like 2 hours of free time, but they're spread out. We got an hour in the morning, hour in the evening. Then I had to go to another prison where it was 23 and 1. So I was there for
maximum security.
Yeah. So I was there for 28 days. So, you know, that's 23 hours in the cell, 1 hour out. So by the time I got to my next prison.
Real quick, not to interrupt, but what's the name of the county you was in?
I was in Lorain County. Then I went to CRC.
CRC, that's in Marion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I went to London. So, but even after I got to London, it was probably about 2 months, so probably like April, because we were still on lockdown, COVID. But they called inside rec, so we used to be able to get an hour for a rec, and this is when they first opened it. Nobody went. It was literally just me in there. But, and mind you, there was no ball. But I went to the gym, and it just felt so like I was released. Like, man, like this really my safe haven.
Yeah.
And I'm just picturing myself dribbling the ball, seeing my kids and running up and down the court, and I'm just walking and thinking like, man, I needed this, like, because I was at a tough place right there, because that's still the beginning of my bid. I'm not, you know, I'm adjusting, you know, I'm cool, you know, I'm kind of talking to people, not really, you know, I really didn't want to trust nobody in prison, but you know, but I finally opened up. But when I got to that gym, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna be all right. I'm really gonna be all right. Once they open this all the way up, I'm gonna be cool. So, but I'm gonna get back to before I even got sentenced. So yeah, man, I was just really coaching, you know, and then that was kind of like one of my hardest things is, you know, tell my kids, you know, tell my parents as well. You know, I kind of kept it in. You know, I really didn't want nobody to know. A lot of people really didn't even know I was in prison for probably about till 6 months I was in.
Yeah, I didn't know until I saw your post, and I was like, bro, been on my mind. I ain't seen him though.
Yeah, you know, because that's not, you know, some people glorify it, man. And it's like, I've never been that type. I never understood why people would do that. Unless you're talking about, what you gained out of it. But some people look at it as an accomplishment, like, oh, I did such and such many years and da 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 this, da da that, trying to play the tough role. And I just never understood that, because if you're a man, you're gonna be a man regardless, whether you go to prison, you go to college, you go to military. If you are who you are, then you can stand anywhere. It doesn't matter. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, man. So I really just, coach, had some fun, took some trips, and just did that till I was sentenced, man. So I didn't tell my kids until 2 days before, because my son's birthday is the 4th. I told him after his birthday, and he turned 11 last year in 2021. And then my other one was already 9. So, they kind of got the grace of it, that was hurt, it hurt me telling them. But my little ones, they didn't know what was going on, because they was 4, 3, 2, and 1 at the time. Yes, I got all 5 girls after that. So they didn't really know what was going on. I know, man.
Nah, I'm just saying, I got 7 kids too, bruh. My oldest one is a boy, and my youngest one a boy, and 5 girls. I'm a twin.
So you could really relate.
Like, bro, I'm trying to tell you, like.
That's why I've been quiet, man. Y'all got a vibe.
Man,
yeah, man.
You lucky. They young now. God damn.
Ooh, I can only imagine, man.
Oh, man.
Only imagine.
And it's just nonstop fighting, trying to get each other in trouble. They spend their life on that. I swear.
For real.
Like, that's
so
it.
I do got a question for you. Since you've been out, and you said you've been out since October, right? No, you said it's been a month.
Yeah.
So since you've been out, so I used to live in Ohio, in Elyria, and the job I was working at, I got a promotion. That's what brought me to Michigan, and the way that kind of worked out for me. So this is a story time with your boy. My best friend Jessica, shout out to Jessica. I told y'all about her. That's my sister, not by blood, but by love. I hit her up, was like, hey, I need to stay on your couch for a couple of weeks while I'm trying to find a place. And 2 weeks ended up being 3 months, right? And that was 3 months that I was here in Michigan working, trying to find a place to live, while my wife and my boys are down in Ohio, waiting on me to find some place so they can come up, right? And my youngest boy at the time, well, he's my youngest boy, but he was the youngest at the time. He had just turned 1. He was like 1 and 4 months when I got that promotion. And him seeing his dad, twice in a 3-month period, just 2 days I was able to make my way down to Ohio. Actually, one day I was able to make my way down to Ohio, and one day they came up here to Detroit. Him seeing his dad 2 times in 3 months, it really kind of, when he was here again, and he was kind of weird. It's a new spot. I mean, this guy's his daddy, but he ain't seen his daddy in a while. And that was just 3 months, right? So my question to you is, what's that relationship been like for you with the kids this last month, in particular with the youngest?
Okay. Well, my boys, they was just happy for me to be home, man. I was with them, probably more than with the girls, just because we do sports, so I'm picking them up from school. We're going to the gym. From the gym, we got to go to practice. From practice, we're taking them home. Then games on Saturdays, it's all weekend long. So with the girls, my oldest, she was, I'm real close with her. My oldest girl, I should say. I was real close with her. And she's a little older. She was, 4 at the time. She turned 5 this September. So she was real happy for me to see me and stuff, because I didn't let my kids see me. I didn't want them to visit me while I was in there, man. One thing about it, I want them to have, memories last forever, So I never wanted them to see me in that light. So if I did talk to them, it was over the phone or maybe even a video visit. But I didn't want them to have ever have to have that memory of them going inside of a prison and getting pat down and, seeing their daddy in a room with prison guards and stuff like that. So I never gave them that opportunity. So my youngest, when I came in, so she wasn't technically 1. She turned 1 while I was in there. So she was kind of iffy when I came home, kind of distant, She ain't really know me. And that was one of my biggest fears, like how is my kids gonna react? I know how my boys is, but how my girls gonna react. Then my third youngest, she was, she always used to be so happy to talk to me on the phone. But when I first seen her, she was like, I know your dad, but you've been gone for so long. She came and gave me a hug, but she was all quiet and mute. And that's how my second oldest daughter was too. Like she seen me, I picked her up from daycare, and like she seen me like, hey, dad. Like gave me like the little fake half smile and like like yeah, it's like I know it's weird. I know, you ain't seen me in a while, but this is me. Then my second youngest daughter, she was kind of, she was kind of distanced too. So it was, it's a process, it was probably after a week or two. They got back to normal, seeing me all the time, seeing me every day, being in their face and, interacting with them, and then now even my youngest, she's every time she see me, daddy, like, she wasn't even saying my name when I first came home. So, it's a process, but, they opening up to me, they warming up to me. It's, I'm feeling good. Because at first, I'm not going to lie, I was like, damn, like, this is exactly what I didn't want. I didn't want to feel that feeling like, all right, who is this man? Even though they know I'm their dad, but they didn't know me. Like, because kids, they grow so fast anyway. Their brain is, is always forming. So if you don't see them within a couple months, like you said, they like, ugh. So me being gone, 11 months, is something. It was like really like distance and, had to open up to me. But, with their brothers being around and their older sisters being around, calling me dad, and it was a slow process. Not a slow process, but they opened up back to me. So I'm just happy for that. Got over that little awkward stage.
What about the relationship with the mothers of the children?
Well, I'm with one of them. I have three of them. So I'm with my how do I do this? It's one of them situations, man. Because
it's just the way you said it, bro. We not judging.
Yeah. Oh.
Because it's like I got
two baby mamas.
I got 3 of them. So my oldest son, they got one mom. Then my youngest son is the girl is the woman that I'm with now. Then I got my oldest daughter is with her, but my second oldest daughter is with my first baby mom. Then
all right.
Then my third oldest daughter is with the woman I'm with now. Then my fourth youngest daughter is with a different woman.
A little hopscotch. It's all good.
Yeah. Then my last child is with the woman that I'm with now. So,
okay.
So the woman I'm with now, we great, We great, everybody gonna have some stuff.
Sound like y'all been through a lot, bro.
Man, I'm telling you.
If you can weather it, shit, it must be worth it. Hey, that's all.
Absolutely.
10 toes down.
Absolutely. Ain't nothing gonna come without a little struggle and sacrifice. So
absolutely. So I'm with her now. But my oldest child mother, we got a good relationship. You know, we're cordial, we're respectful. Then there's another one that the other one we ain't seeing eye to eye right now. But she slowly let me see my daughter here and there. You know, kind of trying to cause some ruckus, but you know, with the power of the Most High, anything is possible. So you know, I'm just waiting for her to come back around and be respectful and be all on the same page, so we can work through this together and raise our daughter the right way. So.
What about the kids you coach? Have you been able to get with any of them?
Oh yeah, man. So my kids, they was blessed to have good guys around them and that supported them from me gaining relationships through coaching. So they never missed a beat. They always play when I was gone, multiple sports. They play football, they play basketball, baseball. So I'm just glad that I had a great support system. And sometimes you don't really understand who's really in your corner until you really back down into it. And so with the fact that they didn't miss a beat, and when I came home, they're already started their basketball season. So I'm seeing all the kids, and what's so crazy that you asked that. And mind you, like I said, I coach, but I have my own program, and we have bags. We have book bags that they have for their uniforms, their balls, their shoes, whatever they want to put in it. So, every gym I'm going into, I'm seeing a kid that I coach. They all got my bag. They still wearing it. Like, they still wearing it. And that's kind of like, man, it kind of makes
they're going to keep it forever, man.
Forever, man. Forever.
I got kids that I coached when they was like 8 and 9, and we made shooting shirts for the little rec league team. And then they play AAU, and they got they bags, like you said, and they shorts and they jerseys. And then I coach middle school ball, and these same kids, and I'm like, bruh, you 6 foot now. You still trying to hop into this rec league shirt? Like, I ain't gonna call you out, but I know because I can wear mine. My grown behind ain't gonna grow no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, but it's like it makes me feel good to know, like, hey, look, I'm gonna cut these sleeves off. I'm gonna open this thing up a little bit, and it's just gonna rock with me forever, big dog. Like book bags, like you said, like you see your book bags. You go into a gym, it could be a tournament.
Yeah.
You look around and you still see your book bags on teams just here and there, and you like, man, that's dope. So I feel that.
Yeah, it's definitely a great feeling, and all the kids that I seen, man, that I coach, man, they show mad love, man. I done, how what they did is so crazy now because social media is so you can interact with anybody basically at any time.
Yep.
And they're growing up and they're getting on Instagram, Facebook, and it's like, man, I don't want to say I feel old, but times are definitely changed, man.
I say that all the time. I feel so old, bro, because these kids, like my first AAU team I coached, all of them is seniors this year. You know what I'm saying? They were 7th graders when I had them. They seniors.
Man.
Like it's little kids in the neighborhood that when we first moved here, we had an old-fashioned neighborhood, the first spot we stayed at, where like all the kids were still outside playing tag till 1, 2 in the morning, basketball, football, riding bikes, like old school neighborhood.
Right.
You hear a parent yelling, she probably yelling at all of them. Ain't nobody coming out checking nobody. Like it was just real love from the front to the back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm looking at these kids and they juniors. You know what I'm saying? My son's a junior. So like when we got here, he was in 3rd grade.
Right.
And so it's just like, I was like, golly, like I watched all of y'all just like grow up and change. And some of them pull up on me and voices deep. And I'm like, bruh, what's all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, full-grown mustaches. And I'm like, golly, like, so yeah, it'd be nuts, man.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy because I done got so many messages from kids I coach. Like, man, you changed my life, man. I'm so I'm glad that you home. man, you taught me so much. And it's like, damn, man, you never really know the impact that you have. You want to have that impact on these kids, and and to have that positive, feeling, that thought and contribution to them. But you never know if you have it. Then when I came home and I seen so many kids reach out to me and show love and happy to get home, like, so when you coaching again, and it's just crazy, man. It's just really, it's a wonderful feeling. You can't explain unless you kind of go through it. Because like I said, like you said, you've been seeing them kids since your kids was young. They grown now, basically. So I'm seeing the same progression. Like, man, like you said, kids. Even though I was only gone 11 months, in that 11 months, kids done shot up. Kids done lost their baby fat because they're going through puberty now, and some of them got a baby mustache. I'm like, what is going on? Like, some of them I'm like, y'all wear deodorant now? Like, what happened? So
yeah, it be real. Everybody coming through on the onion train, like, yo, y'all gonna do something about that. Like,
for sure.
Like, look, that's what I use. Go home, tell your mama something. Just help me help you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure. For sure.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah, so you said you got 11 months out the deal.
Yeah.
So how was that 11 months in between the transitions between Lorain County and CRC in London?
Before you answer that question, I was going to ask that question too, but before you answer that question, you said that it was going to be like 1 year or 5 years.
Yeah. I was
we on the way.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm going into a blind plea. So, my lawyer was like, yeah, man, it's either 1 or 5. I said, so I thought a plea is they tell you what you get in before you go in. I feel like I could have took this to trial and got the same, He said,
this sounds like some lottery type.
Yeah, like
it really do.
Depending on the judge, if he got laid last night or not, like that's how I'm looking at it. Like, if he in a bad mood, it's over.
A whole nickel, huh? About this,
man, a whole nickel. So, but he's my lawyer telling me, man, like, it just take it. We're probably gonna get you a year, but I can't guarantee it. I'm like, all right. So, I signed a plea deal. Everything on Zoom at this time. Never been in the courtroom, so we're doing everything through Zoom. So he went through the pro process, asked me to understand what I was accepting. I told him, yeah, and all that nonsense. So, it's so I'm telling everybody I got a year. I'm definitely speaking that into existence. But it's still in the back of my mind. Like, I don't know if I'm going in for 5 or going in for 1. But I know that's mandatory. So, it's the day of, man. It's so the night before. I'm party like a rock star. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna do this again. So I went in there, man. I went in front of the judge. It's early in the morning, and he telling me my charges and how serious they are. The prosecutor is telling him what he think of me and all this other stuff, and he was like, basically in it. And I never understood the good cop, bad cop, even though they're not cops, roles until that day. Like, the prosecutor, you'd have thought I was the notorious drug dealer of them all. I shot people. I always been drinking and driving. Nothing I did good mattered. I was like, oh, I'm about to get fired. This prosecutor is not on my side. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you talking like you don't even know me?
Right.
And he made me seem like the worst guy, but the judge is like, he's hearing my story because I'm telling him I coach kids, and I do a lot of things with Illyria, and I'm really a good role model, and he so he's buying it. But the prosecutor was like, so you're telling me that you sold drugs after the basketball game. I'm like, bro, like, I'm like, I wanted to laugh, but I was so pissed. Like,
Bruh,
yo,
like that's almost like saying, so you telling me you preached on Sunday and was selling dope on Monday, huh?
right,
Like,
right. So it was like, now when
Riley,
you
your shirt don't make it no better.
yeah, it was shit like that. But I was doing it for the kids though, like.
Oh, damn.
So you know,
you telling me you so dope after the basketball game? Nah, before.
right?
Shit, I knew little Johnny was gonna need something from the concession stand because they'll
Right.
never see him with that.
For real.
It was kind of like Robin Hood the way I was looking at it.
Right.
Nah,
Do you deal with inner city kids? I'm telling you, they expensive.
they only get paid from them. They'd never know.
Man, never know. So you know, so the judge, you know, is like, you know, I came up with a decision. You know, I think it's best for you, you know, to do a year. So I heard a year. I'm like, bet. Like, I'm cool. Like, I can do a year. Like, I could do 5, but you know, doing a year is like cool. I'm gonna be straight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be straight. You know, I think only person that was there in the courtroom was my mom. You know, so you know they sentenced me. You know, I'm thinking, all right, I get to say goodbye, give her a hug. I went to go turn around. They was like, no, you can't touch her. I said, oh, damn. I was like, all right, you know. So you know, they took me to the county. You know, got me. You know, when you go to the county, you bring extra whites. You know, I had about 4 pair of drawers, about 4 pair of socks on, 4 or 5 t-shirts. You know, just to prepare myself. You know, because they don't give you nothing. And if it's not white, you can't wear it. So if you ain't got no white underwear, you're gonna be free balling. And I wasn't with that.
Right.
So, you know, so I got there, man. I was, you know, and that's one thing I can say. I've been blessed with a good bunkie everywhere I went. So I got there, man. My first bunkie, his name was Flacco. He was from Puerto Rico for real. So he spoke like broken English. But he spoke good enough English that we could communicate and stuff like that. You know, from the first day, it's like, bro, don't worry about it. Like, we'll break. Like, this is what we do where I'm from. Like, and that's one thing I did, you know, I realized, like, when you go to prison, you know, whites stick with whites, you know, they have each other backs. You know, everybody mingle, but they have each other's back. Puerto Rican people stick with Puerto Rican people. It's only the blacks who, you know, you walk in, you got to kind of, you know, feel they vibe out, you know, be on your P's and Q's, you know, and rather don't like, and you know anything about a prison system, it's like, all right, mind you, I went to a prison in the South because everything up north was shut down for COVID. So usually when you go down south, you're going to have problems because there's not a lot of people from up north, you know. But
So where was London at?
London's in South. That's like probably like 45 minutes south from Columbus.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you meant Southern Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you was about to say you down in like Georgia, or
Alabama, something like
I was
that.
gonna say like what in the
No,
world?
I ain't go fed. But it was Southern Ohio. So, but in the county, I had a good bunkie. You know, from day one, he broke with me. I didn't have nothing because I couldn't go to the store till that following Monday. So, you know, anytime he ate, he made sure I ate, you know, because if you ever been into any type of state penitentiary, you even state food from like schools or something, it's not the best. It's not. So, you know, anytime he ate, you know, I ate with him, which is cool. And so when I actually got my money, you know, I broke bread with him too. But mind you, this is, you know, a guy who don't speak that much English. And, you know, we come from different backgrounds. You know, he been in prison before in Puerto Rico. He done did some time. You know, he done, you know, caught murders over there. So, you know, and he's telling me about it. You can tell when somebody's talking and somebody who actually talking you know, is serious. And, you know, So, you know,
more of a way of life over there for him than what
Yeah.
people act like it is here.
Yeah. Yeah. So when, you know, he's telling me about the stuff he do, what he done and what he had to do, you know, I was like, all right, you know, so it's in you. So, like,
yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think I could take you in here, but ain't no telling, you might have a shank. You know, you never know. You might flip one day. So, but you know, like I said, the Most High, he protected me from day one to the day I left. So yeah, we hit it off, man. You know, sometimes he would just talk too much though. Mind you, I'm trying to read, you know, there's nothing to do. I'm in a cell. There's no TV. It's 6x8. So it's small as hell. It's one bunk beds. I'm on the top. Mind you, the bed's hard. So it's like, you can't really get too comfortable. Then it's in the middle of winter and I'm up top. The vent's up top. So the heat is just blowing on me all day. So I'm hot. I'm sweaty. You know, sometimes I ain't trying to talk or kick it. Like, I just want to lay there. But, you know, he was so energetic because he'd been in there, I think he said about 6 months prior to I got in. So I can only imagine all the energy that he had built up being in the cell that whole time, 22 hours a day.
Yeah, it a little bit more normalized for him at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if he was by himself the whole time waiting to get a bunkie. He was really in that joint.
Yeah, he was happy to see you.
Absolutely. So he was cool though, man. And you know, we got our little hour in the morning, hour in the evening. But you know, that's the first time, you know, I really been in jail longer than, like I said, 3 days. So in any other time before that, man, I got anxiety. Like, man, I need to get out of here. I'm going crazy. Like, these walls is, you know, they talking to me. Mind you, I've been in home cell like 3 hours and I'm feeling like this. So I think it's more of the mental aspect. Like, man, like, I need to get up out of here. This ain't for me. I can't believe anybody does this for life. Like,
wow.
So, but this time it was a little different because I understood that I couldn't leave. I couldn't bond out. And
you had time to like mentally prepare for it.
Exactly. Because when I did accept my plea, mind you, like I said, it was November. They said, well, you can we can sentence you next month. Then my lawyer was like, well, he would like to at least be out for the holidays and stuff like that. And the judge granted that, which was cool because I still had Thanksgiving, New Year's, and Christmas to spend with the kids. So by the time, so that gave me enough time to really process that, all right, I'm going to be doing a year. I'm going to be away from my family for a year. I got to mentally prepare myself for being behind that walls and not being able to go anywhere or see anybody. So that time I was really cool with it, man. I accepted it. And I started to read. I think, mind you, I was only in there for 19 days, 20 days. I think I read about 10 books. And I don't think I ever read a book outside of school in my life. Like, if I didn't have to read, I wasn't reading. So for me to read 10 books within 20 days, it was just, it kind of gave me,
yeah.
It kind of gave me that confidence I needed. Like, all right, it's not that you can't do it, it's that you didn't do it, like you wouldn't do it. So that opened my mind up to other things. Like, man, like, you can, like, my mom always told me, like, you can do anything you put your mind to. And I always understood that, but growing, you know how, even with your friends, like, even though you talking something, niggas always want to joke, no matter what it is. I'm about to go do this. Nigga, you ain't about to do shit. Shut up, nigga. It's like, then you really, but it's at the back of your mind, you thinking like, oh, he right, I ain't about to go do that. Like, what was I thinking? Instead of, you know, and I think that's a lot of to do with our culture, man, that we got to get away from it as well, man. We got to understand, like, our words are really powerful. Even though, we might think we're joking and, mean no harm by it. I think, everything that you say should put life into your loved ones, especially if you say that you love them, that you mean that. Because a lot of times we get discouraged by people's words that, shouldn't mean that much to us, but they do. And so when I really read them books, I'm like, man, like that's crazy. I'm reading and I'm not only am I reading, I'm liking it. I'm like, I thought I would never like reading. Mm-hmm. So I started with novels. So that's, I started with hood novels. That's all that's in there right now. So I'm like, and it kind of, and I never really understood when people was like, the book is better than the movie. I'm thinking like, nigga, no, it's not.
you can't see it.
You can't. I can't sit back and watch, eat popcorn, sip your drink. But when I started reading books, it really took me out of there. I'm like, oh, I can, mind you, I'm in the cell for 22 hours a day. I didn't even mind being in the cell if I had a book. Because I'm reading it and you literally paint a picture in your head of everything that's going on.
I was gonna say you get immersed into it, and your mind is no longer in the prison. Your mind is the book.
Yeah. And the mind I'm reading is called a Cartel series. So I started with book, I think it was 5. So I read 5. I'm like, oh, I need the next one. Like, what else? He's like, yeah, I got 5, I got 6, I got 7, and I got my dude in the back in the hole, but he got like 1, 2, 3, and 4. I was like, man, I'm gonna need 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I'm gonna read 6 now.
It was I need to know what's next, but shit, I need to know what happened before to get me here. And that's crazy you say that. My cousin, I used to call him the smartest. Like I say, he's so smart, he's dumb.
Right.
He's the only person I know that read the book dictionary 3 times front to back. You know what I'm saying? Like he's read the full Bible. He reads, and we'd be outside playing as kids. He'd be like, I gotta go use the bathroom. Like, oh man, he finna hold the game up. He finna go get a book off my bookshelf. Like you gonna have to go get him about the house. And I'd be like, how could you go in to use the bathroom, see a book, and in 5 minutes, you so immersed in the book that you forget that you had people outside playing a game with you. And he was like, cuz I always start at the middle. I was like, huh? He's like, cuz at the beginning, it takes too long to catch up. So I start in the middle because it's already interesting. By the time I get to the end, I need to know what happened in the beginning. I said, well, damn.
We got to start over.
It's like, he really be going. You just have to go get him. But I get what you're saying. Like, with you starting at 5 out of a series, it's about like the same as starting in the middle of the book. That shit was so good,
man.
You ain't know what to do.
For real though, for real. And that's exactly how it was in there. And now you say that, it's like, damn, that's exactly what happened to me. Because it's like, I need to know what happened next, man. I was like, I never felt like an addict before in my life till then. I was like, I need to know. So I read 6, I read 7, and I got them books late. But so by the time I read 7, the one dude's still in the hole. I can't get the other book, so I'm reading other books that is around. So I never got to read 1 through 3. I gotta buy those. I still gotta figure out what. Then there's an 8 and 9 I gotta read too, but I was trying to get away from hood novels for a little bit, trying to educate my mind.
Hey, ain't that? I mean, but that's kind of messed up. Like, how you gonna sit somebody in a cell to read about the same shit they getting locked up for?
Man,
I was thinking that.
I'm like, that's some fucked up shit. No wonder people come home thinking they got a master plan. They done read all these goddamn novels where everybody fucked up, and they think they got it this time. No,
man.
Or it's just a setup.
That's exactly another reason I had to start reading these. I'm thinking like, man, if I could just get out and do it, what he just did, that's just for real. And I'm like, no, that's
wrong thought.
yeah. I'm gonna get back in here and read the rest. I might so
literal indoctrination. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So by that time, man, I was getting shipped out. So I read that book. Then I headed down to CRC. Mind you, when you in the county, they don't tell you when you leaving. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna be leaving. I'm reading on my docket. I got to spend 30 days. Oh, it said 6 months in the county then. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm cool. I'm gonna be here for 6 months. No, they woke me up at 4 a.m. like, all right, man, you leaving in the morning. But they don't let you call nobody and let you know that you're leaving because they feel like it's escape risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was 3 dudes from our county. And we all left the same day. I never met these dudes a day in my life. And I ended up being real close with one of them because every prison I went to, he was with me. So it was crazy. And that's why when people was like, man, like the Most High, he works in the most distinctive, intentional way possible. Like everything in your life is intentional. Like me being on this show today is intentional. So it's going to reach so many people that I never, I talked to before, and somebody's going to hear my story and reach out to me. And it might touch them in a way that I never thought it would. So, that's why another reason why I appreciate this, man.
Facts. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So we riding out, mind you, this is all our first number. When you say number, that means like your first time in prison. Because when you're in prison, you're not a name. You are 774879. That was my number. It's something you never forget.
That's what everybody say. I don't know how or why. It's like, I don't give a damn what it is. I got a cousin who did 3 years. He had a 3 to 18. And he did 3 and got out on good parole. And he was like, I don't know what it is. He was like, I'll never forget that number.
Man.
It's something about that number. He said it's kind of almost like a reminder. He was like, if I get to like losing my cool, he said, I just say the number. And he's like, I'm cool.
Wow.
He like, I don't want to go back. He whatever his number was, boom, 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 you can have it, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be that bitch. It's cool. Don't even worry about it.
You know what I'm saying? And like he said in so many situations, that's what chilled him out was in his head, that number just come through. And when he say it, everything else don't even matter because he know where he ain't trying to go. So
right, for sure. I feel you.
Man.
Yeah, man. So I went to CRC, man. That's like, so mind you, like I said, it's a 23-1. So I'm there for 28 days. Just waiting to get to my parent home, in prison, I should say, not home. And mind you, it's my first night. I'm bunky with somebody from Youngstown. And
I heard CRC wild though.
CRC is wild. Somebody died when I was there from the guards whooping them.
Whoa.
Yeah. Crazy. But first night, man, like when we get there, it's an experience, man. I was there, like we had to go like through a process that took like 8 hours. Mind you, it was a 3-hour bus ride. Mind you, they got me up at 4 a.m. Like I'm tired. So by the time that whole process is, is over with, finally get to my cell, man. I got mice in there.
In the cell?
In the cell, running around.
That's some inhumane shit.
Yeah. So the whole time I'm in there for 28 days, I'm sleeping with mice. They jumping up and down off the bed. They going in the trash can. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So so out of that 28 days,
you gotta feel like your parent home finna be 10 times worse if this just a crossover.
Man, you get what I'm
on
saying?
Your first trip in, like on some shit like God damn, then if this like this, what? Oh, you tell me I gotta do? Hold on. this might be the better stop right here.
Man, for sure. For sure. That's what I'm thinking. Like, man, if it gets worse, I don't know what to do.
Man.
I don't know
That's
what to
crazy. My bad. I ain't mean to interrupt you. That's
No,
wild.
you good.
He said jumping off the bed and trash can.
And if I'm keeping up with the timeline, this is month 2 that you're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
So
got
it's
there.
like end of February.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah.
Beginning of March is somewhere in there.
Yeah. So I got there then. So I had a bunkie for like 2 days, but they had a COVID protocol. Like everybody took a COVID test. I didn't take one because I had COVID in December. They said since I had it in December, I don't take another test for another 90 days. So I was cool.
Antibodies, yeah.
Yeah. So my bunkie had COVID. So he was only in there for 2 days. So then they shipped him out because we couldn't be around each other. So I was on quarantine. But like technically I wasn't supposed to come out my cell at all for the first 2 weeks. Like, so I couldn't shower. I wasn't supposed to shower. I wasn't supposed to do anything just because that's how they quarantined. So if you had to shower, you had to take a bird bath.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, but I was blessed because my bunkie had COVID, so I was allowed to get my 1 hour a day. And when I tell you 60 minutes never went so fast in my life,
Man.
Oh, yeah.
man, I was so like one day I actually got into the guard because it was 55 minutes. I'm like, bro, we got another 5. Like,
Hey, bro,
I need all my time, bro.
Because you ready to go.
Man.
Like, hey, just because you want to go sit down, shit, it's just me in here anyway, so what you tripping for?
Man. So, I'm telling you, like, mind you, in this 1 hour, you gotta make a call. You gotta take a shower. You gotta try to make something to eat in the microwave. Mind you, this by probably like 30 other dudes coming out at the same time trying to do the same. You know, you got a one room with one TV in it. So we all trying to watch something. You know, then you got to get on the JPay machine. I'm telling you. Then you can try to work out for, you know, any type of minute because they got like a pull-up dip bar. So you try to work out for 10 minutes, you know, hop on JPay for 10 minutes, hop on the phone for 10 minutes, try to take a 10-minute shower, try to cook in 10 minutes. It's the fastest hour in my life. So when he cut me that 5 minutes short that one day, I'm ready to blow up. They're about to take me to the hole. The one CEO was like, man, just calm down. I'm like, no, you calm down. You don't understand. Like, I'm tired of being
right.
in the damn cell.
You finna get out of here for a few hours and come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, this is my get out of here.
Yeah.
Man.
So after they moved my bunkie, I was in there probably by myself for like 15 days. By myself. And it's like, man, no books to read because they don't have books.
Did you take the bottom bunk then?
No, there was at this one it wasn't bottom bunks, they was side to side.
Okay.
So what I did do is take that mattress and put it on mine. So I doubled up.
There you go.
But I got it's only me and the mice. So I'm over here like Green Mile. At this point, I'm feeding them, you know, talking to them, naming them.
God damn. He said, we got Ratatouille in this motherfucker.
Man.
FIFO goes west.
Yeah.
Like, Speedy Gonzalez was happening.
For real.
Like,
for real. Then, you know, everybody, we got windows. So, you know, everybody at the window talking to each other. People used to freestyle. We used to call it CRC radio. That was like my entertainment. There was this one, for real. This one dude do like every song. So if you had a request, he would rap it. So it kind of felt like, all right, it's about that 6 o'clock. It's you know what time it is. Open the window.
There you go.
It's so crazy. And that's another thing, man. Prison is filled with so many talented people, man. So many people that you wouldn't even think that's in prison. There's so many so many people are educated and smart and intelligent, you know, that can rap, they can ball, they can draw. I had every one of my kids drawn while I was in there, like portraits, you know. Portraits that would cost probably $50 to $100, maybe more on the streets. You know, for $10 in there. And it's like, man, like, why y'all in here?
it really be like that though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie. If I go though, I want to go because I went behind some millions.
Right.
Like it was a misplacement of funds that happened.
You only gonna get 18 months.
You know, one thing
time at that.
One thing,
Right.
One thing I can't help but to notice is you seem to have these timelines pretty concise. I was here for 28 days. I had a bunkie for 2 days. Then I was by myself for 15 days. You know, it really just seems like you spending time in prison really caused you to be aware of time, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely, man. You gotta be aware of everything in there. So and it's just something that I guess I picked up on, man, because after that 15
have clocks.
No.
and that's exactly why I figured, because like lights on at a certain time, lights off at a certain time. So absolutely. you essentially have to have a mental state of time. Okay, if lights on at 7.
Yeah.
If trades is coming through, it must be 8:30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If 1 hour wreck in the morning, you got from 8:30 to 9:30, so it must be, you know what I mean? Like, I can see how that becomes a routine of time without a clock. Like, it's almost like people say, like, I don't need an alarm to wake up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have a mental clock, man, because like you said, lights on at certain time, trades coming. All right. Oh, shifts change. It's that time. So you're absolutely right. And it's crazy that you said that, because that just gave me goosebumps. It just gave me the thought back, like, oh man, because this CO coming in, fuck, right? Best behavior. Yeah, man. So then after I finally got a bunkie, it was one of my dudes that I actually rolled out from the county with. So it was somebody from Lorraine. So it was kind of cool. But at the same time, I'm 30 at the time. He's 21. It's a gap. It's a gap.
Huge one too, because he don't give a damn.
You know?
He don't give a damn.
And it's like, all right, dude, I'm trying to take a nap. It's midday. We ain't got nothing else to do. Like, let me sleep. He want to talk and be up. Like, no. like, where'd you get all this energy? But he's young. I get it. I was there. Like, he ain't got no kids. Like, he young and wild and reckless. That's what he is.
Yeah.
That's my dude, J Money, though, man. So we was there. So he was my bunkie about 13 days, and we went to the same parent. So mind you, just like in the county, they don't tell you when you leaving. They don't tell you where you going. Because they usually tell you where you're going. Let me rephrase that. They usually class you to something. We was actually classed to Mansfield, but COVID was so bad, they were shipping everybody down to London. So, because we were supposed to be at Lorraine to go through our little process, but we had to go down to CRC because of COVID. COVID messed up everything. So I was supposed to be
everybody got to go through CRC though. I thought everybody, it don't matter what you get, even if you on the last end of your bid, you finally got out the county, you still got to go through that mud.
Yeah. So everybody had to go down there. So mind you, like I said, they woke up at 4 a.m. Doom. Pack your stuff up. And at 7, you riding out. You guys are going to London. You can't call nobody. You can't let them know. So we was both going to London. So we kind of talked about it, before. Like, man, I hope we go to the same prison. At least we know somebody. So, the Most High worked in their way. But, sometimes they say, be careful what you ask for. Mind you, I told you he was young, wild, and reckless. So we finally get to our prison.
Both from Lorraine.
Yeah, right. It's our second day. Now, where we at it's a dorm. So now we not in cells. We in a big old dorm. There's 3 rows. There's 100 on this side. There's an A side and a B side, basically. There's 100 people on this side and 100 people on that side. But we sleep about 3 racks down from me. Yeah, They're actually 2 racks down from each other, so we always see each other. It's our second day. We talked about we not smoking, we not drinking when we get to prison. We about to work out, blah, blah, blah. It's the second day. This nigga is high as hell. I'm like, oh, what the hell happened? like what did we not just set goals? Like one thing I wanted to do while I was in there, you know, set goals, and you know, I wanted to read, I wanted to work out, I wanted to learn about certain things, and I wanted to work on myself. So I didn't want to smoke. I knew it would be there, but I didn't want to indulge in that because that's not who I wanted to be. That's what got me in there.
Right.
It's what got me in there.
Right. Yeah.
So he high as a kite. Mind you, we don't got TVs at this time. Everybody got TV, and they got TVs on the wall. So I'm trying to catch the game. So I'm standing by this dude rack. You know, he ain't really paying no attention. My dude come up to me, and he high, and he just looking crazy. So this dude, mind you, I didn't know at the time, the dude sold drugs there. So he thought we was plotting on him. Right. It's prison. So it's like, I'm like, he's like, what's up with your mans? I said, man, he just high. Like, I'm thinking like, it's cool. Like, he said, no, man, like, why he looking like that? Like, what y'all on? I'm like, we ain't on nothing. Like, I don't know you. You don't know me. So he was like, all right. I'm like, oh, shit, let's get up out of here. Like, I don't know what this
go back to
on.
my rack, call it a day. So.
Yeah. So I go to my rack. I'm sitting down. He pulled up with his guys, just like 3 of them. Mind you, he really mad. He really want to smoke with my dude. He don't really want no smoke with me. He want to smoke with my dude. And he like, and that's another thing. So he walked up to me. Mind you, my dude lived a rack. There's a rack right here. There's a rack right here. I'm here, a rack right here, and a rack right there. He said, what's up with your mans, man? I'm like, oh, he's cool. Like, don't worry about it. Mind you, he could have asked him right there. He's right there. I don't know why you asking me, but all right.
Right.
Well, fuck. He said, no, man. Da, 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 da. He said, I don't know what y'all heard about me or what I do around here, but ain't none of that going on. I'm like, cool. I respect it, but you know, it ain't going like that. Like, we cool. Like, let's let it go. It's
you like, I'm just trying to do my time.
You
get
know,
back to my
like,
kids. Like,
yeah, young too. He like 20. He was 22. I'm 30. Like, I've been through all that rough, rah shit. I'm not trying to fight. Them days are behind me.
Right.
My dude, mind you, he's probably like 6'2", but he a young, cocky nigga. So, you know, he got the testosterone as a bull, always wanted to fight anyway.
Right.
I'm like, dude, just calm down. It's a misunderstanding. Like, you don't gotta go there. Like, that's not why we here. Like, we here to do time. He was like, no, fuck that. You can't let nobody try to punk you in prison. I'm like, nigga, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, that don't mean nothing.
If I make it home, I want.
Yeah. I want to leave with all my teeth. That's all it takes.
Like you seen a couple of people lose a few of them in your days.
Yeah. I'm cool. So I calmed him down. Well, actually, yeah, I calmed him down. Nothing happened that day. But a few days later, they fought. You know, he lost. but it, you know, a situation like that, you think will kind of humble him. It just turned him up worse, man. My dude ended up getting burned by hot water, grease, butter, baby oil. Yeah, because he just ended up, you know, kept wilding. He ended up stealing from people. He ended up getting a couple fights. He stole, man. So now all of this is burnt and pink, and you know, it never recovered, man.
But he chilled out now, huh?
Nah, man, ain't no telling. He got shipped out.
Oh.
He got shipped out. So by the time he got shipped out, you know, they moved him to a different. It's a whole different block where I was at. So we wasn't even on the same wreck. So, but you know, it just goes to show you you know, you make your time what it is, man. It could be, you know, a good time, not a good time, but you know, you can pass time by doing constructive things, or you can pass time by doing destructive things, and anything is gonna come back to you. You know, that's one thing I learned about prison. Like, I had a horrible perception of prison. You know, going in there, you know, thinking it's gonna be all this things that you see on TV. You know,
Right, drop the sub, motherfuckers trying to get you, beat you
Yeah.
up, the gangs and shit you got to join to keep protected, all
man,
of that shit.
the whole nine. But you know, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all, man. And I met a lot of good quality dudes in there that I still talk to this day. That I was locked up with, man. So that's one thing I can say, man. Like, it's not all negative, man. I did a lot of my time by hooping when the gyms, you know, finally open. And you know, when you hoop in there and you good, or at least decent, people respect you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why, you know, I also thank the Most High for that, man, because when I remember the first time we actually played, and you know, niggas always talking, I can do this. I'm like, all right, like I hoop for real, like that's what I do. So
Right.
So when I actually hooped, I was like, oh, you can actually play. Yeah, nigga, what you thought of? You thought I was just, because niggas would sell you a dream in prison.
Oh yeah.
Everybody big meats, and everybody done caught 5-6 bodies. Like, but you in here for robbery. But all right, you know,
Like, we can't look this up. Like,
it's your story, you tell it, brother. So, but you had all this money, but you know, you asking me for some soups, like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So what I really think I hear you saying is that, you know, you do have some wild ones in there, but it sounds like you saying that, you know, a lot of people that are in there, you know, really just made a series of bad decisions.
Absolutely.
So,
nah.
so when it came time for you to get close to going home, you know, what was that feeling like?
Well, man, so mind you, it's like August, and all my dudes, they from Cincinnati. They from that area. I'm in a prison filled with Cincinnati, Columbus, Dayton. Yeah. So they all. But it's so crazy because they showed me hella love. Like, and I never felt like real genuine love from. I wouldn't think I would feel like real genuine love from people that I just met. But when you spend so much time with these people day in and day out, you eating with them, you hooping with them, you working out with them, you know, you playing dominoes, cards with them. Like, you really grow a relationship and bond with these people in a short period of time because you spending so much hours with them. So if we got a message on the JPay, and Grafton was opening up, and Grafton's 10 minutes from Elyria.
Yeah.
So they was like, "You going?" And I'm thinking at first, I'm like, no, like, I'm cool. I'm comfortable. But one thing I always learned about jail, never get comfortable. Never understand, because that's not a place that you want to be in. And you always want to grow, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You always want to grow. Never stay complacent. And I was like, no, I'm cool. Like, I'm going to finish I got 3 months left. Like, because I got 30 days off my sentence. Really 36 days off my sentence because I completed this program. So I really was supposed to still be in prison till the 8th.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question.
Yeah. So I was supposed to get out January 8th. So if I never completed that program, I wouldn't be talking to y'all today.
And for the listeners, we're recording this on January 2nd, and it'll drop on January 5th. So
yeah,
this will drop before you were scheduled to be released.
Absolutely. So I finished my program. I'm thinking in my head, it was like, I'm thinking in my head, I only got 3 months left. I seen the JPay. I'm like, I'm not trying to go to Grafton. Like, I'm gonna finish my little time here. I got guys that I'm cool with. You know, I got a routine. You know, why break it now? But Then I was talking to my other dude from Lorraine that was in the same county I was. We left the same day. His name is Rip. And I said, let's take a walk one day. It's August. We walking the track. The yard's open, beautiful day. He's like, hey man, you about to sign up for grafting? I said, no. He said, I ain't either. He said, I'm about to, I'm cool down here. I'm like, yeah, me too. Then we got to talking. Then it was like, but it is right there in our backyard, like like
Right, when they let you go, you can walk home, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Right.
I'm like, he was like, man, you right, man. And I heard it's sweet up there. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm like, so what we about to do? Like, you trying to go? Like, he was like, yeah, man, let's do it. I said, all right, because he didn't want to leave either. And I didn't want to leave. So we ended up putting the kite in and let him know that we wanted to go. Then I think it was and I ain't tell nobody because my dude, he came up, he was like, you gone? I said, no, I'm cool. So they came and finally got us. Like a couple days later, we signed papers to transfer. And he pulled up to me, he was like, hey, did you go into the office yet? I'm like, yeah. He said, yeah, man, they said we might be leaving next week. I said, damn, that's fast. I said, I know. So I'll go talk to my other dudes, and he was like, so you about to leave? I said, yeah. He said, why didn't you tell us, man? We supposed to be finishing the bed together. Da, 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 da. I said, you get out before me anyway. Like, what ain't matter? Like, calm down. But
you got 3 months, so he got what, 2 months and a half or something?
Yeah, he had a month left. Like, you about to leave me anyway. So
what difference does it make?
Right.
Yeah, because it's
I
crazy.
get up out of here, you might have a week left, G.
Man. But because it's crazy. Like I said, you get real close with people, man. Like I got real close with my dude named Mac. He got released in July. And we was only I was there from April. I got there like March, like mid-March. And so it was and I only got cool with him from probably like June.
Where was Mac from?
Mac's from Hamilton, which is by Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So I probably got cool with him like mid-May. And but we rocked out. Like, so when he left, it messed up my bed. And it's like, oh man, because you like I said, you do so much things with these people every day, and it's like once you leave, it's like it's kind of like they die, but they don't.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Like, damn, what I'm gonna do now? Shit,
Yeah,
ain't here.
Yeah. So then but it was like 3 of us, me, Mac, and Tanner. And Tanner, he got life. But his spirit is crazy. Like you would never even think he had 10 years in the penitentiary. He's only 30 years old, and he don't know if he ever coming home. You never would have thought that.
So he got life, or did he get like 24 too?
No, he got life. He got an L. Right. And so it's just me and Tanner at this time. So mind you, Tanner and Mac was real close. And when people really leave him, it's really like they died. Because unless they come back, he ain't never gonna physically see them again.
Right.
And so that kind of messed him up. And he was in a bad place mentally, and he would talk to me, like, and he would tell me things. And he was like, man, I just want to get out of here. Like, cause he's used to a level 3, which is closed security. You're in a cell. You got a bunkie, you got a door, where compared to we was in an open dorm with 200 people in a dorm, got to share microwaves. We walking around, you see the same people every day.
That bitch look like a break room at Amazon.
Exactly. So he was more content with being in the cell by himself or with one bunkie, and that's the type of life he wanted, I guess. I didn't understand it because I was
he was just
Go ahead.
I was to say, it sounded like he was just making the best out of the situation.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is in level 3s, most people ain't going nowhere for a while. So you don't have to worry about the change out. Most of them is got, 24, possible to parole at 12 or 20 or 15. You know what I'm saying? So they on the front end of 3 years out of 24. You ain't gotta, you know what I mean? Unless y'all get into it real bad, on a regular basis, you don't have to worry about them disappearing on you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was too, man. Because with him being, I think he was there probably about 3 years, but he did 7 years in close security. So about 3 years, he had probably 10 good people leave from him that he got close to, and it kind of probably realized, man, even though he still talked to, I still talk to them to this day, and Max still do too. But talking to somebody on the phone and hearing them living it up and living their life, I can only imagine. Man, I know my day gonna come, but you don't know when at the same time. So I think, like you said, that kind of hurt him when you go to a level 3. Like he said, people got 10 or better, so you're gonna be around them for a minute.
Right.
So he crashed out after probably a week or two. So which means he did something that he shouldn't have did, and they rolled him out of there ASAP. So, and that's another dude I was really close with. So when he left, my bid really changed. It's like, bro, what I'm about to do now. I still had guys there, but I was closer with them 2 guys than anybody. So when they it's just, so I'm talking to my other guys, which is still cool, but it's like it ain't the same. It ain't the same. So it was like, why stay there? Plus, I can be closer to home. Everything gonna work itself out. So I went from London to Grafton. I got to Grafton. It was August 30th. I got there. August 30th, and I had 103 days left at that point in time.
Man.
And when I got to Grafton, I kind of felt like I was free, because I went from a level 3, which is close security, to a level 2, which is an open dorm, to a camp basically, which is still an open dorm, but you get more freedom. Like, you're not in state blues. You got a polo and khakis you walking around. Where I was at, it looked like a retirement home at that point in time.
I got you. Yeah.
And it is crazy because the first day I walked, we was there, I seen somebody smoking a mile on a bench outside, like they was free. I said, what the hell? Mind you, it's still not, you still not supposed to do that shit. But they were doing it so nonchalantly and so openly with it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cake compared to where I came from, seeing fights all the time. And like I said, dude getting burnt with water, oil, butter, baby. Yeah. So just from seeing that, seeing fights, seeing gang related stuff, seeing people smoking weed and drinking, and it's crazy. People getting jumped. I went from the jungle to a petting zoo. And it was that crazy. And it was night and day. And it's like, man, you can still know that you in prison, but it don't feel like prison.
Yeah.
Then I knew the area so well, I really felt like I was home.
What did it feel like when you finally got a chance to walk out?
The doors?
Yeah.
It felt surreal. Like, if you was a Cleveland, you probably understand the feeling. You're a Detroit Pistons fan. So,
oh no!
you finna crash the courts.
So when they won that championship in 03, 04.
Yep.
It was like, wow, we did.
Hold on, time out. I just gotta say real quick. The fact that we still somehow managed to figure out a basketball conversation.
it's forever gonna be around us, man.
For sure.
But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, it was because that's how I felt when the Cavs won their championship. I'm like, hold on, is this real? Like, is the game over? Like, is not another game? And so that's how I felt. Like, I didn't know what to feel like. I came, like, my dude picked me up. I'm like, I'm happy to see him, but it's like, what do I do? Like, like we ride in the car, he dropping me off. I see my girl, like, give me a hug, right? Like, but it was surreal, man. It was surreal, and I just didn't know what to feel. And I was like, mind you, when you in prison, you shower with shower shoes. So that's the first thing I did when I got home. I showered, and it's like I ain't had no shoes on. It's like, whoa. This is the first time I had taking a shower with bare feet and a long
forgot what
time.
that porcelain felt like. Yeah.
I said, dang. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. But
weirdly, I know that feeling from living in the Cedar Point dorms because I wasn't getting in there with my bare feet either. So
right.
I feel you. I got one last question for you. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My one last question earlier when you first started talking, and you were talking about the situation, the original night, everything that happened, and you said, y'all was drinking and doing whatever, and then the thing you said is that what I thought life was like at the time.
Yeah, man.
So
I kind of think I know who you're going, man. And what I meant by that was what I thought was, important, not even important, but fun to me. Drinking, smoking, fornicating with different women. I thought that was what life was, all about. Even though I knew it wasn't, it just felt good to me and it brought me joy. But actually, what it really was doing, just numbing the pain that I was trying to cover up. And it didn't really dawn on me until I actually went through prison, and I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. You can't have sex unless you have male sex, and that shit ain't going on. So when I really did my whole time without doing any of those things, it made me realize that I don't need those things to have fun. I don't need those things to live. I don't need those things to define who I am. Because it is crazy that I even started those things, because I didn't drink till I was 21. I didn't smoke till I was 23. I was always, against it. Like when my friends would go, yeah, exactly. So me and my friends was always up like, no, we athletes, we're not doing that. Then they got to like they junior year and they started drinking a little bit. Then the senior year they started smoking. I said, what is y'all on? Like, we don't do that. Like, I felt like a square bob. Like, all right, we can get girls, that's cool. But all this drinking and smoking shit, like, what are we doing? If you caught me drinking in high school, it was one of them Smirnoffs that was green apple.
Yes, indeed, sir.
They used to be like, "That's a girl drink." I'm like, "Man, it tastes like
what
Sprite."
You talking about? Yeah, big bottle about to drive through liquor store.
You feel me?
Crazy. Oh, $3, boy, get right. So get jiggy for the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when I went to jail, man, I kind of really got back to my roots, man, and realized, I can be me without doing all them things. I can still have fun, and I can still, even though my dudes in there was doing that, and they could, they still kicked it with me. Like they didn't judge me. That's one thing about prison, man. You gotta be genuine, the truly who you is. Like they know who real and who ain't. You can tell who's coming up, telling stories and being fabricated to guys who truly isn't. Like I went to a majority white school my whole life. Like in elementary. So I talk proper. So when I'm hanging around gangsters who really kill people, who really, would stick a nigga up and, we having full blown conversation and relating to certain things. So don't get me wrong, just because I grew up in this area I grew up in a bad area, but I still always went to good schools though. Like that's one thing I can appreciate my mom for always putting me in good schools and caring about my education. but from them to, so I can still relate to these dudes, and they not like, yeah, we ain't talking to you because you sound different. It was just like a reality check. Like, if I can talk to these dudes that really lived in the trenches their whole lives and had to do certain things that I didn't, and I can relate, and we can be cool, like real cool. I can be myself around anybody. You know, because sometimes you get around your friends, you feel like you got to do certain things, not to hang with them, but, you know, just that's what they do. You're going to do what your friends do sometimes. And that's just
that peer pressure.
Yeah. And so when I felt like I didn't have to do that anymore, you know, it just felt good, man. It just felt good. Like, I was with my guys the other night, and they were all drinking and smoking. And yeah, I took a little bit, but I didn't get drunk like I used to. And they was like, "You don't want them no?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool. Like, y'all can do that." Like, and it was still cool. And it just made me realize, that prison made me realize you can still be yourself without sacrificing something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up right there, man. It sounds like you saying that, you know, you made some mistakes, and you went through some rough experiences, but, you know, it sounds like you said God had you protected, and you learned about yourself. You learned the value in reading something that you thought you'd never do. You learned that, you know, you didn't need alcohol and smoking to be who you are. It sounds like you're saying that in a weird sense, through a rough period of, you know, almost 2 years between the accident, the plea deal, and ultimately spending time in prison. So I think I'm hearing you say you found yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, man, I appreciate you, you know, coming on.
Always.
You know, this was, yeah, I think this was dope. And I think that, you know, somebody's going to hear it, and they're going to learn something. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I'm proud of what we just did here. I appreciate that's what I want to say. Man, if people want to reach out to you, how do you want to be reached out to? Social.
You can reach out to me on my Facebook. It's Dominique Stamper. My Instagram, Coach Stamp, BTOB, or my Snapchat. It's Neek1410, man.
Yeah. I will have all of that in the show notes, so you guys can check that out on your podcast app. You know how to find me, Archbishop Swag. It's been my name for 10 years. Don't ask me why. Y'all know how to find Fred. Fred can't find himself. Mr.humble_beginnings. And follow the show at What's Happening. If you like what we do, you know, leave us a 5-star review, a 5-star rating in your podcast app. Subscribe to the show. Tell a friend about us. Follow us on the social media. That's all I got, man. I appreciate everybody listening. Again, Dominique, appreciate you coming onto the show and sharing your story.
Appreciate you having me, man.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to find a group to come crash one of Coach Stamp courts.
You know, I
hitting the city near you.
Oh man. Hold on, wait a minute.
It don't matter.
Wait a minute. The What's Happening Invitational game. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Hey, listen. Don't put What's Happening at AAU. They might lose podcasts. Boy, the AAU make some bread.
Hey, but we could be on that little logo. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I mean, we got to build your subscribers. You know, I got to get that in at least once every episode. Just like you claim things to be in existence, I'm claiming 1 billion subscribers into existence. Man. But listen, we appreciate everybody listening. Follow us. You continue to share the show. Remember, love is a verb. So if you love what we do, you can put some action behind that. Help us grow this thing. Make this the I was gonna say make this the best podcast in the world, but it already is. So let other people know that it's the best podcast in the world.
Sure.
Until next week, we out. Love y'all. Appreciate you.
Love, bro.